Hello and welcome to all our viewers in Nigeria and around the world to News Cycle on Global Television. We are live in the nation's capital, Abuja. I am Anthony Momodu. President of the Senate, Godswill Akpabio, has administered the oath of office on 3 new senators who recently won by-elections in their respective districts. They are Pam Mankon, Action Democratic Party, Plateau North, Anthony Ani, All Progressive Congress, Ebonyi South, and Mustafa Musa, All Progressive Congress, Yobe East. They were subsequently led to their respective seats after the swearing-in during plenary in Abuja.
During plenary,
Uyi Agbomofegbe has more.
During plenary, the upper chamber also went into closed-door meeting with the service chiefs owing to the worsening security situation in the country. Security chiefs in attendance include Chief of Defense Staff, Chief of Army Staff, the Chief of the Air Staff, and Chief of Naval Staff. Aside security issues, the lawmakers also were concerned about Nigeria's economy. Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of the Economy, Wale Edun, was also in the Senate chamber with lawmakers. Uyi Agbomofegbe, Global Television News.
While following a 10-hour closed-door meeting with service chiefs and some key ministers discussing rising insecurity, the senators expressed satisfaction with how the service chiefs have been managing the security situation in the country. The Senate said it was impressed with the determination and focus of the service chiefs in addressing the situation. It urged them to continue to be steadfast in ensuring the security of lives and property. The closed-door session had held primarily because of the nation's worsening security situation, as there has been a rise in insecurity across Nigeria, with almost daily cases of killings and kidnappings. The Nigerian Governors Spouses Forum, NGSF, has called on the federal and state government to declare a state of emergency on substance abuses and illicit drug trafficking in Nigeria, with a view to mobilizing resources to tackling the pandemic. The call was one of the resolutions in a communique signed by the chairperson of the forum and First Lady of Kwara State, Ambassador Olufolake Abdulrazak, issued on Tuesday, 13 February 2024, at the end of a 2-day drug prevention treatment and care training organized by the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA, for wives of state governors in Abuja. While acknowledging the urgent need to take control and reinvigorate the state drug control communities for optimal functioning for the state that have one, the governor's wife stressed the need for the federal government and state governors to declare state of emergency on illicit drug use and trafficking pandemic, with a view to mobilizing resources to tackling it. Nigeria's security chiefs have resolved to use the National Identification Number (NIN) and the Bank Verification Number (BVN) for identifying and apprehending criminals. The chairman of the Senate Committee on Media and Publicity, Yemi Adaramodu, disclosed this, saying interagency rivalry and the lack of synergy between security agencies had been identified as some of the challenges of Nigeria's security architecture. Insecurity has worsened in many parts of Nigeria, with daily reports of killings and kidnappings. This necessitated the meeting the security chiefs had with the Senate. The Nigerian government has requested the assistance of the International Criminal Police Organization, Interpol, to hunt and arrest 3 defendants in the alleged withdrawal of $6.2 million from the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, last year through a forged document. The Office of the Special Investigator of the CBN, Jim Obazi, made the request after obtaining an order of the Federal High Court in Abuja. The office, through a letter by its head of operations, Eloho Okboziakpo, named the defendants as Adamu Abubakar, Imam Abubakar, and Odo Ochene. The Economic and Financial Crimes the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission had earlier charged Ochene, who is at large, alongside former CBN Governor Godwin Emefiele, before the Federal High Court in Abuja with stealing the said sum under the pretense that it was requested by the presidency to pay international election observers. The Minister of State, Labour and Employment in Kiruka, Unyu Jocha, hosted a meeting between the federal government and organized labor to stave off the planned strike by the Nigeria Labour Congress and Trade Union Congress deadlocked. The party in Abuja could not convince the union to suspend the strike slated for February 23rd. This was as the Association of Master Bakers and Caterers of Nigeria threatened to down tools by February 27, 2024, if the federal government failed to implement the agreement it entered into with the association in 2020. The Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, in an interview sought the understanding of the union, saying they are optimistic Labour will see reason and strike will be averted in the interest of the nation. The House of Representatives has tasked the Federal Ministry of Health with taking decisive action against hospitals and healthcare facilities refusing to treat accident or gunshot patients without a police report. The resolution followed the adoption of a motion by Odinon Saint Okoje, APC Edo, at plenary on Tuesday in Abuja. Earlier, Okoje said that the provisions of Section 1 of the Compulsory Treatment and Care for Victims of Gunshot Act 2017 provide that every hospital is to receive and treat victims of gunshot wounds with or without police clearance. According to him, hospitals and healthcare facilities have an ethical and legal obligation to preserve human life regardless of the circumstances. Nigerian Labour Congress NLC has called on the federal government to consider annual review of national minimum wage because of the inflationary trend and value of Naira. Joe Ajero, NLC president, made the call in Abuja at the second National Labour Adjudication and Arbitration Forum organized by the National Employers Consultative Association. Ajero said government should have a rethink on the 5-year cycle of minimum wage because it was not favorable to the Nigerian workers. According to him, no matter the amount negotiated, it would have been eaten up by the inflation before the end of the 5-year cycle. There is a need to thinker with the law providing for 5-yearly renegotiation of national minimum wage to allow for yearly adjustment of wages based on the rate of inflation and value of the Naira. The Nigerian police force has raised alarm over the increasing cases of involvement of the Nigerian youths between ages 20 and 25 in criminal activities, ranging from kidnapping to gun running nationwide, urging parents to be alert and give their children proper home training. The alarm was raised through the Force Public Relations Officer ACP Olumuyiwa Adejobi, while 26 suspects of various offenses were arrested. Kikelomo Okere tells us more.
Numbering 26, these suspects on parade for various offenses ranging from kidnapping, unlawful possession of firearms, gun running, courtesan, to mention but few. Items recovered from them includes 10 sets of military camouflage uniforms, 10 pieces of camel pack, 12 military hats, 3 cardigans, 3 t-shirts, 2 belts, and 3 anklets were recovered from the suspects. Police also recovered weapons which include 6 AK-49 rifles, 2 SMG, 1 locally fabricated AK-47 rifle, a revolver, 290 rounds of AK-47 live ammunition, 4 AK-47 magazines, 2 SMG magazines, 2 pump-action rifles, a Dane gun, 2 Volkswagen cars, bags containing several illicit drugs, 2.2 million naira cash, and other dangerous weapons. The force spokesman says police operative acting on credible intelligence launched a manhunt and arrested a suspect over illegal possession of prohibited firearms in Kaduna.
Each of these individuals played a distinct role in perpetrating crimes that have been instilled fear and anguish in communities across the nation. Since when you don't start this business?
You want to speak the truth.
Okay.
abin da ke akwai ni ban san wannan bawan Allah shi mai gidan Hanza wanda ke daji ana ce mai Ma'azu Hanza ya tura mai lambata.
That one man in the bush who is boss to Mohazu, that one bandit in the bush, that Hamza sent his number to him.
It's true. To daman akwai wata ma'alƙashiya wadda shi wannan mun taɓa faɗa da shi.
That they once have grudges with Hamza.
Shi sai yake dan ban san shi ba ma ido da ido shi mai gidan Hamza.
I don't even know the man face to face.
Sai ya kira ni.
He now called him.
Sai bani buhun dawa guda 4.
He now gave him bag of millet 4.
Da buhunan da empty robobi.
With empty robbers.
Da empty robobi, da empty jarakai.
And empty jarakansa.
Da kore. Kore wannan.
Okay, the story there is that they used to bury hams inside bags of grains under his seat as he has a golf.
Following the ongoing investigation into the daily killing and unrest caused by rival secret cults in Edo State, operatives from FID and IRT also arrested Edosa Obasui, Abu Mary, Endurance, Monday Utubu, and Esther Abumeri in Ekpoma area of Edo State.
A search of their residences led to the recovery of 2 pump action guns, numerous voter cards belonging to different individuals, 19 live cartridges, 4 expended cartridges, 1 wooden carved gun, that's a dummy gun, illicit drugs, charms, and their cell phones. During interrogation, they affirmed that the killings in the state were carried out by the Eye confraternity as a result of the rivalry between Eyes and Mafites. Edosa Obasui, where in Edo?
Ikpobaoka, local government area.
Ikpobaoka, local government. Are you a student?
No, sir.
Are you a graduate?
No, sir.
Did you go to school at all?
A school start holder.
School start holder.
Yes, sir.
What took you to cultism?
It was one of my bad friends that involved me into that.
Use the mic, please. Use the mic.
It was one of my bad friends that involved me some time ago.
Involved you? How did he involve you? What did he tell you to convince you?
He deceived me. That is the best way.
Furthermore, the operative of the FID SCS also intercepted the movement of military accoutrement from Kaduna to Zamfara State, precisely Shinkafa local government area. The suspects were said to have been supplying military camouflage to notorious bandit Bello Tunji and his gang members, who in turn have been terrorizing the state.
Are you a soldier?
I'm a civilian, sir.
You're a civilian. What are you doing with the uniforms? All these accoutrements?
The uniform come from my best friend.
Your best friend?
Alasan, yes, sir. He is Air Force, Nigerian Air Force.
He's still serving?
What, sir?
Is he the staff? Abi don't come out.
Yes, he's the staff.
He don't come out.
Yes, he don't come
out. We don't commercial him.
Yes.
He don't come out. What did he say make it take and do?
He sent it to Bello Authority.
What did Bello Authority they do?
They wear that uniform.
To do what?
To go to operation.
Which operation?
Kidnap it and something like that.
The force is, however, resolute in its plans to dismantle all criminal syndicates, particularly those supplying arms and ammunition to bandits, before going after the main criminals. Adejobi further reassured the commitment of the Inspector General of Police, IGP Kayode Egbetokun, towards ensuring the safety and security of all Nigerians and the foreigners alike. Kike Lomo Okeri, Global Television News.
The Nigerian Meteorological Agency has said that the excessive heat being experienced in the country presently would remain for a while. NIMET disclosed this in its weather and climate update posted on its official X page. The agency in the post also outlined the weather's implications and provided guidelines and guidance to the public on how to manage the situation. NIMET said air temperatures hit 41 degrees Celsius over the north and 39 degrees Celsius over the south, with model projections indicating temperatures to remain high in the coming days. The National Drug Law Enforcement Agency NDLEA Osun Command says it will continue to partner with the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps to fight crimes and drug abuse. The NDLEA State Commandant Chidi Nandi made this known when the Osun NSCDC State Commander, Dr. Adaralewa Akintayo, paid him a courtesy visit in Osogbo. Nadi said both commands would not relent in their synergy and strategies towards ensuring the safety of lives and property in the state. He commended the NSCDC boss for the visit, adding that it would further foster unity in achieving the set goals and mandate of the security outfits. The Minister of Federal Capital Territory Administration, Nyesom Wike, has put a 20 million naira bounty on two wanted kidnappers, Dahiru Adamu and Abu Ibrahim, who has allegedly been terrorizing the nation's capital. This was as he ordered police officers to fish out the kidnappers, dead or alive. He stated this on Wednesday when he met the FCT Commissioner of Police, Beneth Igwe, during a parade of 23 criminal suspects at the FCT Police Command Headquarters, Gariki, Abuja. He noted that his administration would not give criminals breathing space, just as they have not been giving FCT residents breathing space. You're watching News Circle coming to you live from Nigeria's capital, Abuja. We're on Star Times Channel 276. Kindly follow us on all social media platforms using @Global TV and other handles now showing on your screen. When News Circle returns, OPEC says Nigeria's crude oil production dropped in January. The news continues shortly with details of these and more stories right after this break. Just stay with us. Welcome back from the break. This is Global Television bringing you live broadcast of News Circle. Thank you for staying with us. And back to the news, the Jigawa Pilgrims Welfare Board said no fewer than 1,200 attending pilgrims in the state have made full payment of the 4.69 million naira fare for the 2024 Hajj. The board's public relations officer Mutala Usman made this known in Dutse. Usman said the board was allocated a total of 1,518 slots by the National Hajj Commission of Nigeria for the 2024 Hajj, out of which 1,200 intending pilgrims made full payment. Usman added that the orientation program for the intending pilgrims had commenced to prepare them for the proper conduct of the Hajj exercise in accordance with the teachings of Islam. On the foreign scene, the United States National Transportation Safety Board, NTSB, has provided pictures of the location where the helicopter carrying Access Holdings Chief Executive Officer Herbert Wigwe crashed. His wife, Doreen, and their son, Chizi Wigwe, and former Nigerian Exchange Group Chairman Abimbola Ogunbajo crashed in the helicopter close to the California-Nevada border near the Halloran Springs. The images released after Michael Graham, a board member with the NTSB, said they had visited the site and outlined activities conducted on the first full day of investigation. At the accident site, showed NTSB officials observing the wreckage at the site. A big Russian amphibious ship, the Caesar Kunikov, has sunk off the coast of Russian-occupied Crimea, according to Ukraine's armed forces. Powerful explosions were heard early on Wednesday morning, according to the local social media, which suggested that the landing ship had been hit not far off south of the town of Yata. Ukraine has repeatedly hit Russia's Black Sea Fleet in occupied Crimea. Meanwhile, Satellite images last year showed much of the fleet had left the peninsula. Russia's full-scale war in Ukraine is due to enter its third year next week, and Ukraine's armed forces chief has admitted the situation is extremely complex. A top UN official has warned an Israeli assault on Rafah, Gaza's southmost city, could lead to a slaughter. Humanitarian chief Martin Griffiths said Palestinians in Gaza were already suffering an assault that is unparalleled in its intensity, brutality, and scope, adding that the consequences of an invasion of Rafah would be catastrophic. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has vowed to defeat Hamas gunmen he says are hiding in the city. In an unusual, strongly worded statement, Griffiths said over 1 million people were cramped in Rafah, staring death in the face. He said civilians in the city had little food or access to medicine and nowhere safe to go. Republicans in the United States House of Representatives voted on Tuesday night to impeach Homeland Security Secretary Alejandra Mayorkas. The lawmakers claim Mayorkas has been responsible for the record of illegal migrants crossing the U.S.-Mexico border in the past year. According to Voice of America, the vote was 214 to 213 to impeach him, but 3 Republicans sided with the Democrats against it. The impeachment of Mayorkas, the political equivalent of an indictment, could prove to be a symbolic victory for his Republican critics, who are looking as in November elections approach to attack Democratic President Joe Biden and Democratic lawmakers for the chaos at the U.S. southern border. Italy's competition authority on Wednesday fined British American Tobacco Italian division €6 million and Amazon €1 million for misleading advertising of a heated tobacco product. The companies advertised their British American tobacco devices without making clear information about the tobacco nicotine consumption connected to the use of these devices and the prohibition of their sale to minors. It was said that the products were marketed as single electronic devices and mere design objects, with adverts focusing on the aesthetics and ignoring the fact they involve consuming tobacco. And a quick look at business. The Naira gained marginally against the United States dollar on Tuesday, appreciating to 1,489 Naira from an all-time low of 1,534 Naira to the US dollar on the official Nigerian autonomous market. This means the Naira gained 2.3% or 35 Naira according to the FMDQ exchange, a platform that publishes official foreign exchange trading in the country. The Naira has appreciated following the removal of fuel subsidy and the unification of the exchange rate market by President Bola Tinubu. And that's how we call it a wrap on the news cycle. I am Anthony Momodi saying thank you for watching and see you again.